The NBA has yet again made some history, as this season the NBA has gone on for its longest ever trade drought. The last trade that was made was the Westbrook to Houston deal, all the way back on July 11th, so it's been a long time since we've seen a deal go down. This may be due to the fact that over 40% of NBA players switched teams this offseason, meaning they could not be traded until after December 15th, but who knows. However, even though there hasn't been any trades, there has still been a lot of speculation about some deals that may go down, and I'm pretty confident we will see some big deals happen by the trade deadline in February. In today's video, I will be looking at 5 players who could be involved in these blockbuster deals, as well as giving a couple of trade ideas for each player. If you're new here and enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe for more NBA content. But with that being said, let's get right into this top 5.
Lucas.
Number 5. Andre Drummond. The Pistons really need to rebuild. This means trading their stars, and one of them is Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond has been playing well this season, amazing actually, so his trade value is extremely high right now. This means the time to trade him is now, as they'll get a lot of return for him, and seeing as he's entering free agency this summer, the Pistons do not want to lose him for nothing. So, what would a deal for Drummond look like? The first idea I have is between the Pistons and the Golden State Warriors. Shout out to Rusty Buckets, as this idea is a little bit based off of his he had a little while back. The Warriors receive Andre Drummond and Thon Maker, as well as a future second rounder, probably 2021, and the Pistons get back D'Angelo Russell and Willie Cauley-Stein. This works for the Warriors as they get that star 5-man they lacked during the dynasty, and since they aren't really going anywhere this season and it seems a bit pointless to have D'Lo out there, I feel like trading him won't be something they regret. Andre Drummond would be a better fit in my opinion over D'Lo, apart from his lack of shot. Thon Maker, however, can shoot pretty well, so he'll be a good fit in Golden State in my opinion. A lineup to begin the 2021 season of Curry, Clay, McKinney, Draymond Green and Andre Drummond seems pretty deadly, and it could propel them back to the top of the Western Conference and back into contention. For the Pistons, they get Willie Cauley-Stein as a cost-efficient replacement for Andre Drummond, and of course D'Angelo Russell, a young star with a very bright future. The next Drummond trade idea would be for Andre to be moved to Charlotte, as they seemingly have quite big interest in him. The trade would look something like this. The Pistons receive Cody Zeller, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, and Malik Monk, as well as a first rounder, probably 2, and the Hornets get Andre Drummond. This is probably the most realistic deal of the two in my opinion. The Pistons are most likely looking for a young player and a draft pick in return for Drummond to help start the rebuild. Malik Monk has a lot of potential, and whilst he hasn't been anything special to begin his career, he has showcased flashes of high potential this season, averaging 10 points a game. Most teams wouldn't think lightly of Monk, but I believe if he's to have the best chance to succeed anywhere, it's in Detroit. Monk would get quite a lot of minutes there, and the Pistons would take his development very seriously. Monk has potential to be a good 6th or 7th man, so I think Detroit would be happy with this deal. Charlotte has actually been somewhat decent this season, and if they really do think they can make a playoff push, the addition of Drummond will help that a ton. He's an upgrade over their current centers by a lot, and will be well worth it I think, even if he does end up ditching them in the off-season. Overall, I have Drummond going to the Hornets if he is traded at the deadline. It is just the most realistic idea to me. I do think there will be quite a few teams in the hunt for him though, and he will be a top target this February. Number 4. LaMarcus Aldridge. Another team in need of a rebuild is San Antonio. they've finally fallen off after 22 years of playoff berths, and the trade rumors are swirling. One player regularly found in these Spurs rumors is their star, LaMarcus Aldridge. He's been playing pretty well, 19 points on 50% field goal shooting, but again, due to the Spurs' poor record, he's been put in talks for trades as the Spurs look to rebuild now. So who's willing to trade for him? I think the best fit and team to trade for LaMarcus Aldridge is the Portland Trailblazers, and I have two trade ideas for them. The first is a pretty simple one, a big man swap. The deal is LaMarcus Aldridge for Hassan Whiteside, as well as a first rounder for the Spurs, and it's a pretty good deal in my opinion. If Nurkic is on track to return and contribute at a level close to 100% by the playoffs, this is the best trade for the Blazers, as Aldridge can slide into the lineup really well, and the Spurs can nab a much needed extra first rounder. Hassan Whiteside has been solid this season, and not the locker room cancer like he was in Miami, so the Spurs shouldn't be worried about him in that way. Overall, a simple deal that benefits both sides, as LaMarcus Aldridge will be a big factor in a potential playoff push for the Blazers, and if the Spurs don't like Whiteside, they can let him walk in just a few months due to his expiring contract. Plus, they get that first rounder too. The second deal I have is a bit crazier and maybe unrealistic, but this video doesn't have Blockbuster in the title for no reason. This is what it would look like. The Spurs receive Nasir Little, Hassan Whiteside, and Kent Bazemore, who are two solid veterans on expiring contracts, as well as multiple draft picks in return for LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan. This is a major deal, but I think it's a great one for both sides. You're probably thinking that the Spurs would say no to this, but just think about it. They are getting a ton of picks, and the two vets they are receiving enter free agency this summer unrestricted, so if they don't feel they need them, they can simply let them walk and free up a ton of cap space. This deal obviously makes so much sense for the Blazers. They keep their two-star players, add another two-star players, and keep their promising young core of Anthony Simons, Zach Collins, and Gary Trent Jr. The starting lineup of Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, DeMar DeRozan, LaMarcus Aldridge, and potentially Yusuf Nurkic when he returns is absolutely crazy, and a title contender for sure if there are no chemistry issues with so many stars on the team. If the Blazers really want to contend for a ring now, this deal is a no-brainer. I'm just not too sure if the Spurs would agree, that's all. Overall, I don't think the latter deal is out of the window of reality, but to me, the other one is more realistic. However, if either were to go down, I would love to see it. It would be absolutely crazy. Number 3, Jrue Holiday. Coming into the season, the Pelicans had pretty high expectations. Many thought they could even make a playoff push. But with players like Zion sustaining injuries, as well as the team playing extremely badly, the Pelicans are now one of the worst teams in the NBA, and having a guy like Jrue Holiday on your team doesn't make much sense. Holiday is a great player, a very underrated one at that too, and he can be a big help to a playoff team. Again, with the Pelicans struggling and with them having a few too many guards, trading him seems like a good idea. The Pelicans have reportedly made him available, but at a pretty high cost. So, who wants him? There are currently a lot of teams in the mix for Jrue, but 3 stand out the most: the Miami Heat, Minnesota Timberwolves, and Phoenix Suns. And to me, the best teams for Jrue to be traded to would have to be either the Wolves or the Suns. I don't think Miami really need him much, looking at their record and the way they are playing. They look like legit contenders right now, and they have amazing chemistry, and I really don't want to trade stuffing all that up. However, Minnesota and Phoenix really need that extra piece to get them into the playoffs. A trade with the Suns would look something like this, in my opinion. The Suns get Jrue Holiday, and the Pelicans get an expiring Tyler Johnson, as well as two young pieces to contribute to the rebuild in Cam Johnson and Michael Bridges, who have been pretty solid so far this season. Whilst Rubio has been great for Phoenix this season, Holiday is obviously an upgrade, and the Suns shouldn't hesitate to pull the trigger on a deal like this. The Pelicans get an expiring contract to help with salary in this trade, and two decent young pieces to add to the already stacked potential on this team. If New Orleans were to make a trade with Minnesota regarding Jrue Holiday though, it would look like this. Minnesota get Jrue Holiday, and the Pelicans get multiple draft picks, Jarrett Culver, Gorgui Dieng, and Jeff Teague. I won't get really into why it makes sense for Minnie, as I kind of did before. They really just need that extra piece to make a playoff push, and Holiday is an upgrade over Teague any day. For the Pelicans, Jeff Teague is on an expiring contract, so they can let him walk. The only big problem in this deal is Gorgui Dieng, who is still on contract for next season, as well as this current one, and is really only in this deal for salary purposes. Jarrett Culver and the draft picks are the big factors in this deal though, and they should be enough to persuade New Orleans into making this trade. Overall, both are solid deals for both sides, but in my opinion, the Suns one is the best one to me. I think it makes the most sense for both sides. The only way I see the Minnesota deal happening is if New Orleans is okay with taking on Dieng's contract, which I'm not too sure they would be, but it's overall not an awful offer, so I think it's still very possible. So, Jrue to the Suns seems most likely to me. Now, let's move on to number 2. Number 2, DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan has probably been in trade rumors the most this season, and it's due to his team's poor start. I spoke of the Spurs before with LaMarcus Aldridge, so I won't go over it again, but with a rebuild imminent, DeRozan is on the trade block. There are a lot of teams in the hunt for DeRozan. I've seen at least 10 different teams come up in rumors about potentially trading for him. Except today, I have just one trade that I think would be perfect for the Spurs, DeRozan, and the team acquiring him. The team getting him is the Orlando Magic. The Magic received DeMar DeRozan and Bryn Forbes for Aaron Gordon and Mo Bamba. The Magic are in desperate need of a star wing player and have been for a long time. The pairing of DeRozan and Vucevic would be nice and could allow them to make a playoff push in the East. Though losing Gordon and Bamba hurts a bit, they have plenty of depth at these positions and still retain Jonathan Isaac, a promising young player who's been a great defender so far in his career. The Spurs get Gordon and Bamba, who are solid young players who I believe will develop really well in the Spurs system. Gordon provides scoring at the power forward position, and Bamba is their center of the future. He will become a big part of their rebuild. Overall, I really like this deal. The reason why I'm showing this trade is because personally, it's the best one for all sides, and it's particularly the best deal for the Spurs. I've looked at all the best offers other teams could make, and this one is just a standout. I truly believe the Spurs can't find a better offer than this one right here. It also makes too much sense for the Magic too. Again, it's just a great deal for both sides. Number 1, Kevin Love. And of course, coming in at number 1 is Kevin Love. Love has been officially made available for trade, which definitely took the Cavs a little too long to do. Again, there are so many potential trades for Kevin Love that I could make an entire video on just trade ideas around him, but you've seen them all before. So, like I did with DeRozan, here is the best one I found that helps K-Love, the Cavs, and the other team the best, and I've spoken about it in a previous video, but I tweaked it a bit here. This one involves Cleveland and the Portland Trailblazers. here's what I think the trade would look like if Portland and Cleveland agreed upon a deal to send Love to the Trailblazers. The Cleveland Cavaliers receive Nasir Little, Kent Bazemore, and Mario Hezonja, and of course, the Blazers get Kevin Love. The Cavaliers would probably get a first rounder too. This is a great trade for both sides. The Blazers get Kevin Love, that extra star power they need to assert themselves as a true playoff team and to hopefully get them into the playoffs after their slow start. Yes, Carmelo Anthony has been great so far, but Love is obviously a big upgrade. By doing this deal, they also keep Whiteside, which is good just in case Nurkic isn't fully ready to contribute by the playoffs. Overall, for the Blazers, why they should make this deal is pretty self-explanatory. For the Cavs, they get a solid rookie and 2 expiring contracts, which is a big win for them, in my eyes. Overall, for both teams, the trade makes too much sense, and I think it should happen as soon as possible. Kevin Love is wasting his time in Cleveland, and if he is traded back home to Portland, he immediately makes them an underrated contender the league should watch out for. But that will conclude the video. A big thank you to all of you who stuck around until the end. It means a lot. I put a lot of time into this video. What do you guys think of these trades? Which ones do you want to see happen? Are they realistic or am I crazy? Do you have any trades that I didn't mention here? Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop it a like and subscribe. But with that being said, I am out. Peace.